Okay, in this series of videos, we're going to take a look at the review problems for test 2. So let's take a look at the first problem. In this problem, we're asked to use implicit differentiation to find the derivative for this equation that involves both x and y. So as we do implicit differentiation, we want to follow the steps that are outlined here. Right, so first we take the derivatives of both sides of the equation. So I apply the derivative to everything, the entire equation. And so we want to follow these three rules here, right? So you take the derivative one term at a time, and if a term only contains x, we take the derivative normally. If a term contains y, then we take the derivative normally, but also multiply by y prime. So in this particular problem, we don't have any terms that contain both x and y. Okay, so we only need to follow rules A and B, right? So the first term here, x squared, only contains x, so we take the derivative normally, so that would be the power rule, right? So we get 2x. And then the second term, the minus 2x, again only contains x, so the derivative of minus 2x is just minus 2. Right, so the derivative of a constant times x is just the constant. And then here now we have a term that contains y, so we take the derivative normally, but then also multiply by y prime. So here the 2 comes down, so 2 times negative 3 gives me minus 6, and then the y squared becomes just y to the first power, right? So the derivative would normally be minus 6y, but the rule says for implicit differentiation we also multiply by y prime. And then similarly the plus y contains y, so the derivative would be plus 1, and then times, again because it contains y, we have to multiply by y prime. And then equals, and then we also have to take the derivative of negative 2, so the derivative of a constant is just 0. Okay, so now we've taken the derivative of everything, so now we can continue to step 2. So you collect all terms containing y prime on one side of the equal sign, right? So this term has a y prime, and this term also has a y prime, and they're both already on the left side of the equal sign, so we leave them there. These terms don't contain y prime, so I want to move them over to the other side of the equation. So these two terms stay where they are, and then these two terms move over to the right side, so I have to subtract the 2x, so you get minus 2x, and then I have to add the 2, so I get plus 2. Okay, so that's step 2. And then finally step 3, we factor out y prime, right? So this has a y prime, this has a y prime, so we can factor it out. And so once we factor out what's left over, so minus 6y from the first term, and then plus 1 from the second term. And then the right side of the equation we leave alone for now. And then finally we can solve for y prime. Alright, so this was step 1, this was step 2, and now this is step 3. So I can solve for y prime, right? So I need to divide by this thing over to the right side. So you get minus 2x plus 2 divided by minus 6y plus 1. Okay, so now we find the derivative.